Alright. Right? Ah. Is everything okay again? Cancel. Eh, jeez. Every time I go away from this for like a... What have I done? Bear with me again.
Chelsea's a hot little number. I hear she's
Okay, I
amazing,
think it's
but it
working okay
doesn't
again.
show. The only weird thing about her is she won't go out with me.
Let's talk to her.
Chelsea Bando's the kind that could hold her own with anyone. She has a way of turning my needs to jelly. She's a mutant just like everyone else in this part of town, but she's a real beauty.
She doesn't
Well,
seem
hello,
like a
stranger.
mutant. Here's something I was talking about before, like, back in the day, I didn't know what subtle innuendo is. I probably even, like, read it wrong. I probably said, like, subtle innuendo. So let's do that one. Now let's say we're charmingly
Tell me,
curious.
gorgeous, has the new True Detective come in yet?
Yeah, but you gotta pay for it this time. Hey, when you finish a magazine, it is in no condition to sell.
So, like, let's see.
You're right, Chelsea. You ought to be doing stand-up.
No. Look, I do enough stand-up work right here. So can I help you with something?
So yeah, sometimes when I was talking to some of these people, like, and you'd have those dialogue options, it doesn't tell you specifically what he's gonna say, it just tells you, like, the tone of what you're gonna say. Like, you're gonna make a subtle innuendo, and it's one of those instances where, like, you played something when you were young, and then you played it much older, and it kind of adds to it being totally different experience. So, these are all the people who live on the street.
Rook acts like a tough guy, but he's a softie. Just don't tell him that to his face.
Rick owns the pawn shop.
Oh, you know me, Tex. I'm just making
I love her
movies.
90s outfit, seriously.
I love Louis, but his friendliness doesn't fool me. He's a sharp one.
Louis runs the
Every kid is
cafe.
in this neighborhood.
So sometimes you'll get, like, things going on about your case, and you can ask him about that.
Franny's a
Francesca
light
runs the
killer.
pizza
Neither she or
place.
Sal is gonna do time for killing the
She's
other
a big
one.
Italian
I've never seen a
stereotype,
couple fight like they do.
as you'll see. You never actually meet her husband, you just hear about him.
Sal's a handful. He's a nice guy, but I don't know, I feel kind of naked when he gives me the eye.
I like Ardo. Well, not really,
Luckily,
but
Ardo seems to
he's
like
funny
me, and
anyway.
if I were on his bad side, I'd be tempted to relocate. He could crush a Subaru with one
A
hand.
Subaru. Can you remember a video game ever having a Subaru reference?
Wish I could help you there.
The
Tex.
Colonel's the guy who we talked to earlier.
The Crusade is big. I mean, much bigger than most people know. They have operatives all over, and then these huge sections of the Norm population are joining.
The Crusade is basically just like an anti-mutant movement, and that's kind of the whole backdrop behind the story in this game, is that there's normal people kind of versus the mutants.
My trusty 31 Lightning Bolt speeder. I still regret not getting the sunroof option.
Hmm. So remember that what we're trying to do on this first day is to find a job. We want someone to hire us. Let's go into Rook's pawn shop.
Rook Garner runs this pawn shop.
I love this
Rook
game's
Garner runs
graphics.
this pawn shop. He's a crusty old World War III vet with a face like a raisin and a tongue like a butcher's cleaver.
I love this pawn shop. I like the things he has for sale. That weird cat-looking statue, I'd like that. Caustic wit. Let's do that one.
Looks like someone didn't get enough fiber in his breakfast this morning.
Shut up, Murphy.
Shut
The
up,
last thing I
Murphy.
need right now is a yappy-mouthed wise guy.
Alright, then I'm inquisitive.
Okay, Rook. What's the scoop?
Last night someone broke into my pawn shop. I don't usually have anything of great value, but yesterday I gave out a fair amount of cash for an extremely valuable diamond bracelet.
Let's get some detective humor.
My deductive powers tell me the bracelet's no longer on the premises.
Brilliant work, Murphy.
We're oblivious to sarcasm.
Thanks. So what happened?
The bracelet was pawned by a young girl named Emma Nimpton. She said she hated the Hawk family heirloom but had no choice. She said she would reclaim the bracelet in a month. Well, since the bracelet was worth 10 times the 8,000 I loaned her, it was a good deal for me.
Investigate vibes.
What was your impression of the girl?
She seemed real nice. I don't know what I'm gonna tell her. I called her this morning, but her line is disconnected.
Okay, well this seems like a good opportunity to ask for a job. Well, let's be casually investigative as well.
So do you have any leads?
Honestly, I really like the way you interact with the characters in this. I like the different choices you have here.
It's a waste of time, and I can't afford to hire a decent PI.
I'm offended, but looking for work.
I guess this means you don't consider me good enough to help track down the bracelet?
I'd appreciate your help. I'm not a rich man, but if you find the bracelet, I'll owe you a few favors, which could come in handy. Come back here and I'll show you where they broke in.
Rook takes me out back and shows me where the burglar broke in. The back window is busted out and the latch is ripped. It's a sloppy job. As I start my investigation, I'm looking for information to enter into my crime link computer back at the office. One thing.
Oh yeah, Tex Murphy has a computer. It's called a crime link computer. You'll get a kick out of that.
Knows that's not my name, it's spelled backwards.
Not my name. See, you might not have picked up on that.
Well, obviously the window was broken from the outside.
Yeah, but a piece of broken glass.
Must have come from that broken window. Now we're starting to get somewhere.
Look at these objects on the ground. Alright, let's examine this, shall we?
Looks like whoever broke into Rook's window left one of his hairs behind. Apparently our burglar is a Carrot Top.
Yeah, hopefully not the Carrot Top.
These are empty jumbo-sized cans of Camel's chunky chocolate soup. Good.
Chunky chocolate soup? Oh yeah, I forget there's a chocoholic that lives back here. Carnaby Clinic. There's a basketball. Let's play some b-ball.
It's one of those basketballs they used to give away at Weenie World.
10 seconds left. Down by 1. Murphy has the ball. He fakes. He drives. It's a 360. He's fouled.
Oh, that's the end of Tex Murphy's b-ball career right there. So we're looking for clues to who broke into the pawn shop. Hey, there's a...
It's like a shoe print is outlined in that sticky pool of something resembling chocolate. Footprints about a size 14.
That was a significant observation. You'll know you're on the right track when you score points. Points are kind of arbitrary in the game, but it is a good indicator of progress anyway. So we know our perp's a redhead, and he's a shoe size 14. Big fella. Just look at the way these things are rendered. So I'll say what's ambitious about this game is there were other there were some open world games coming out around this time, I think, but I mean this one is pretty ambitious in that it tries to combine so many different elements such as like open world exploration as well as like, you know, a lot of all the FMV sequences obviously.
Wow, a recyclable paper can.
Nothing in there I can get right now. But the game's got a lot of atmosphere, a lot of ambiance, and you gotta appreciate that about it. I don't think there's anything else we can talk to Rook about right now, so let's go back out onto the street. Let's see if Louis knows anything. He's kind of the guy that hears all the gossip. He's sort of like a bartender, except he runs a cafe. And we owe him some money too.
Brew Stew is run by Louis Lamintz, a bloated mutant with a heart bigger than his waistline. Everyone comes
I remember back on my dad's old 486 machine, or maybe it was a Pentium 75 megahertz. A lot of times you'd walk into Louis Lamintz's store and it would just constantly make the game crash. This game had a lot of bugs and just some technical issues and stuff. Suds and hugs. Let's say ear bending.
Nothing for me, Louie. I just dropped by to chat.
Okay. What's on your mind?
Then he just freezes. Yeah, this guy looks like my dad, actually. Small talk, job hunting, ear to the ground. So we want to know if Louie's heard anything interesting.
Well, Louie, you're the grapevine around here. Anything interesting going on?
Well, I've been hearing a lot about this crusade for genetic purity movement. It's got a lot of tension stirred up between mutants and norms. Mutants have been protesting downtown, and there's been some violence.
After you get the basic conversations out of the way, that's when you can ask about all this stuff.
Rook's an ornery old cuss, but me and him are old buddies. We fought in the big war.
I actually think this guy's a pretty good actor, like, for whatever his character is, that he sticks to it pretty good, I think. Let's see, Chelsea.
Chelsea acts tough, but she has to be with all the scum around. And she's as smart as she is pretty. She knows a lot of what goes on in the shadows of this city.
Chelsea knows very little that actually helps us in this
Yeah,
game.
things are a little slow, but I'm getting by. Having to lay off some of
Many of these characters will appear in the next game, the Pandora Directive, which I love that game, and I will do a playthrough of that eventually, but we won't see Francesco or obviously Sal or Ardo.
He comes by here most every day for lunch.
Let's ask about the burglary, shall we?
Rook's been robbed before, but he's never had anything really valuable taken. This is gonna set Rook back for a while. Too bad the cops have turned a blind eye.
I'm trying to remember if Rook's a mutant. Like, I don't think he is. He just looks like a weird old guy. But I swear the actor has makeup on or something.
Rook told me about the bracelet, but I don't know anything more about it. Ever since the crusade started up, the relations between norms and mutants has gone to pot. I've had rocks thrown through my windows, graffiti sprayed on the bricks outside. There's not much I can do, though.
That's vaguely sad.
Sorry, Mike.
No one really knows about the
Can't help
Colonel.
you there.
Nor should they really. Alright, that's pretty much all we can ask him about now. You know, I haven't looked at that newspaper yet that I got. Let's look at it. Let's read some of these different stories. Burglaries baffle police. This is kind of related. Tells us about Mac Malden. I'm going to spare you reading the whole thing, but basically these pawn shop robberies aren't isolated incidents, but it's a string of pawn shop robberies. Body found in Bay. That's never good. Need cash. Poet's Corner. Haiku to a taco. Soft shell taco mine. What meat art thou concealing? Who cares? It's tasty. Grateful Dead tour. In its third incarnation, have announced plans for a resurrection tour. Man. So many references in here to so many things. Some crazy looking cops. Look at these guys. Rodent Soul. Senator committed to asylum. Look at this guy here. Maybe I'll read some of these later just for the fun of it. But yeah, we got that information about who's investigating the pawn shop murders. So, and that's Lieutenant Mac Malden. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, we can actually travel to the police station and go talk to him about it. Yeah, let's do that, shall we? There we go in our speedster.
I haven't seen Mac Malden since the Martian memorandum case. I remember.
I gotta play that
confident,
Martian Memorandum
fat-nosed
game.
cop.
I think I could really like it.
Step into his office, I can see he's changed. His nose is even bigger.
Well, if it isn't Tex Murphy. I figured you'd be dead by now.
See, there's lots of different music for every character, and I think that's what kind of makes it like more fun too. Like it just, the delivery of so many things, I just love it. Compliment, friendly rejoinder. Let's do the fake compliment.
See you too, Mac. You look great. That extra weight sure suits you.
Still the wise guy, eh, Murphy? It was great to see you. Now get lost.
Let's fondly reminisce. Try to get on his good side just a little. He'll kick you out of his office, and then you gotta go back and visit him again.
Oh, come on. Remember the Martian Memorandum case? Hey, we made a swell team.
Yeah, those were the days. I don't get cases like that anymore. Things are harder now. The mayor's office is all over me again. You heard about the string of pawnshop robberies? We have no suspects, and I'm catching the heat for it.
Pride which goeth before the fall, suck up, shocked by ineptitude.
So you and your crack team of detectives have no leads?
Of course we have leads, you pots. We know he's a norm,
Caucasian.
and has AB negative blood. That narrows down our list of suspects.
AB negative, that's pretty
Get out
important.
of my hair. I got work to do.
Now, we'll visit him again later, but I'm actually going to go back to my office because I got quite a bit of information to enter into my crime link computer. Look at this whole map of the city right here. I used to kind of think back when I first played the game, I'm like, am I going to be visiting like all these places all over the city? And you do get to visit quite a bit, but that map is just so enticing looking, thinking that you'll, like in an open world game today, some games probably are that big, you know? Like if you were to play like LA Noire or Grand Theft Auto or something, some of them could really be that big. Let's turn this thing on. This computer is just totally rad. Oh, I can't even, I don't have time to read some of these things. We make it stick. Alright. He's male. He's Caucasian. Is he a mutant? I don't think he is, actually. Sorry, I remember some of these other things. We know he's AB negative. I happen to remember he has green eyes. Hair color red. 14. Still not enough information to get us a suspect. I think he's over 320 pounds. The last thing to do is just to guess a height. Let's see if it's one of these things. It's not that big. Was he over 320 pounds? I don't think he was a mutant. I'm pretty sure he was a norm. Some of these things you're supposed to find out by talking to more people, but I'm just gonna go off memory for a bit here. You gotta cut me some slack here. This is a pretty old game that I've replayed so many times, and if I can find a few shortcuts, I really might take them. But it shouldn't detract too much from it. Maybe his eyes were blue? I don't think they were blue. They were green. Oh wait, tattoos. None of these things. I don't think any of these things. Alright, I guess it's not going to be that easy. Hang on, let me look at one of my other things that I entered. Let's do that. He's a big guy, the guy we're looking for. Mother. Yeah, no. Might have a scar, but I'm not remembering that. Alright, we're gonna have to go get some more information, actually. There's a hint system you can use. I would like to avoid using that. Not that it's that important that you score a lot of points, but because that's the cost of using the hint system is your points. And I'd like to see how many points I can get. So let's go back out here. And there are some people we haven't talked to at all yet. Actually, let me talk to Rook one more time, see if I can get any more information out of him.
So, Murphy, have you come up with anything yet?
Non-committal. I'm not
Well, it's hard to
committal.
say, but I'll get back to you later.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Well, let's see if it
What
makes a
else can I help
difference.
you with, Murphy?
Ask about...
It makes me mad as hell that someone would break into the shop. I have a hard enough time making ends meet.
I don't know anything about that.
Oh, you should know something about Mac Malden, I think.
It was a beauty. Encrusted with diamonds and rubies and inlaid with gold.
Let's go back to the alley. I might have missed something there. Actually, I'm pretty sure that there's someone who...
Oh, man. This dumpster smells like 20-year-old mayonnaise, and I ought to know.
Why ought he know? Because he's lived in a dumpster? Because he's had 20-year-old mayonnaise before.
Well, that steep staircase looked really hard to climb.
It's funny, you can lower this staircase, but then we go up here.
Hey, this door's just painted on.
When I first saw that, it gave me an idea of how fun it'd be to paint a door onto something.
These are empty jumbo-sized...
There's all these empty chocolate containers here. It's supposed to be kind of a clue. Well, not so much a clue, but... like, there's someone living back here, and they eat a lot of chocolate. Alright, maybe we just need to talk to some more people. Let's talk to Francesca. She's a tad annoying, but...
Francesca Lucido makes the spiciest pizza in the city. The only thing spicier than her cooking is her imagination. And right now she seems to have a thing for me.
Well, well, it's that a handsome P.I. Tex Murphy. Have you come up to take me
She was
away?
probably excited when she got this role. Cowboy humor.
How'd you guess? You must have seen my white horse hitched to the railing out front.
Oh, my, Mr. Murphy, you certainly know how to excite a girl.
Get more formal, shatter the fantasy of a... Yeah, let's shatter her fantasy.
Okay, look, I was only joking. I came by to ask you some questions.
Oh, all the business and no pleasure makes even a private dick a dull boy. What do you want?
A private dick, a dull boy. Let's see if she knows anything about the burglary.
I heard that Rook's place got robbed. It scares me to death. There's so much crime in this part of the city.
I want to try some of her pizza.
Can't help you, Tex.
I don't think she knows anything about the burglary, actually.
Sorry, I don't know anything about that.
But I'm kind of not really sure who to ask about it either.
She is a nicer girl. Sal tries to flirt.
Actually, I may not have even have asked Chelsea, so let's do that really quick. I think she saw something.
Chelsea's a hot little number. I hear she's a mutant, but it does...
I might skip that sometimes.
Hi, Tex. How's the investigation going? Is there anything I can do to help?
So she knows about the investigation.
Yeah, I remember Rook told me about the burglary. I remember a stranger hanging around the past couple of days. It might be a dead end, but I seem to remember that the guy had these bright green eyes and a tattoo of an anchor on his arm.
Ah, so the tattoo was of an anchor. That may be the last bit of information I need, I think.
Sorry, I haven't heard anything about that.
I wonder what that Lincoln magazine is back there. Alright, let's go back to our place and use the Crime Link computer again. Oops, I should save this actually. Let's save this one. Travel. Back to Tex's office. So, let's see.
Crime Link computer is the only valuable piece of equipment left in the office. By entering suspect information
Crime
like
Link
height...
computer. Oh, I love it. Crime Link 99A. Alright, she said anchor, right? Anchor. None of these things. I might just be getting the height wrong. No. Maybe he's not as heavy as I thought. Oh, I just by accident got the right one. Alright, Mick Flem. So I guess I had the... I wasn't even paying attention to the last thing I got. Criminal record. Tattoo anchor on right arm. The whereabouts of Mick Flem are unknown at this time. The SFPD are interested in questioning him about the recent disappearance and suspected murder of Rusty Clown. Was he a murder suspect? It is likely that Flem and Rusty were working together when Flem was arrested for illegally importing Asian novelty items. Flem may have murdered Rusty to get revenge for letting him take the fall. This theory has been supported by a street informant, Beek Nerys, who claims to have seen Flem within the past few weeks. Nerys reports seeing Flem in an extremely intoxicated state, apparently hallucinating, saying that Rusty Clown's ghost was out to get him. Interesting. And there's our lovely perp right there. So he was 300 pounds and 6'4". Alright. He's not a mutant, but he's pretty scary. Look at this guy. Alright, well, we scored a lot of points getting that guy narrowed down there. We want to talk to Beek Nerys at some point.
The door to the street.
And conveniently, Rusty the Clown's store, his novelty shop, is right here, actually.
It's all locked up. The only way I'm gonna get inside is by using my innate cleverness or ingenuity, or maybe a key.
Or maybe a key. Parallel parking there. Oh, I remember so many things to this. There's a welcome mat here. You move it to the side.
It's on the doorstep of the novelty shop.
And there's our key.
Whoa, a key.
Can I move that back? Yeah. You can examine these things. They're all totally rendered. So yeah, I believe Skyrim got that idea from this game. To take the time to do a 3D rendering of all inventory items. So we'll use the key here. And this place is scary as hell, I gotta tell you. See, that was pretty scary, right? Let's take a look here, shall we?
Rusty, the clown from hell. No wonder this place went under. Probably scared off all his business. Ooh, a small nozzle. Probably a helium dispenser used for filling balloons.
Scary as this place is, even this is kind of cozy.
The counter cabinets look like they're worth checking out. Ooh, plastic dart crossbow. It'll make a nice addition to my non-violent weapon collection.
Plastic dart crossbow. Yeah, who knows why we would need that. Not to mention we did lose our gun. Let's look at these masks.
It's like my 4th grade teacher. Well, this must be Mr. Grimm. He's a reaper.
He's got things to say about every single thing around here.
Oh, this is a scary mask.
I wonder what that's supposed to be a mask of.
Why, it's Mr. Sloppy Lasagna Eater. I'll bet this is a real popular mask.
Why do you figure that, Tex?
Wow, the limited edition Daryl Hannah wig and mannequin set.
A Daryl Hannah reference. Let's watch this video of that fire marshal guy.
Some kind of in-house television.
Hi kids, it's me, Inspector Burns.
Fun fact here, Inspector Burns is actually played by Tex Murphy. He's got a mask on, obviously, but that's him behind the mask.
What can fires do? Fires burn you. Never like matches. No, no, no. Fire is dangerous. Fire made me look like this. Do you want to look like me? No, no, no. Don't look like Inspector Burns. Don't play with matches.
Inspector Burns. I always thought he was a freak, but the kids love him. So does Ardo.
Kinda matters that Ardo loves him. Oh wow, I forgot about that.
Whoa! For a second there, I thought someone had decapitated Inspector Burns and left his head on the floor. What a great mask.
Lucky for us, we get to totally grab it. Let's check this thing out. Awesome. You know, that must have just been like a actual mask they used from somewhere.
Apparently Rusty was very fond of empty cardboard boxes. So Rusty Clown life-size doll. Wow. It's a dead ringer for... no pun intended.
So we do know that Rusty's been murdered, the clown himself. Let's check this thing out.
Over how lifelike this doll is. If it didn't have a hook on the back and a battery compartment, I'd swear it was Rusty himself.
This place has all kinds of loot. See once again. Just like Skyrim. What's that there on the wall?
Maybe this key fits in that employee's only door.
Yeah, you gotta pay attention to stuff because you'll find the keys you need for doors just like in plain sight. More or less. Let's look at these.
This wig probably sells well during the Bay Area Yodeling Festival. A mask of the king? That's blasphemy! This wig must be quite popular with shy people. Oh, this wig would even make someone like me look glamorous.
That's great. Let's look at the stuff on the wall.
These weapons are all made of plastic. All bark and no bite. They're completely useless.
What's this?
I have no idea what I'd ever do with a stacking ring, but what the heck.
See, there's something I'm going to talk about with the puzzles in this game a little later that are awfully silly in a big way, but we'll get into that later as some of the puzzles get a little more complicated. Let's use this key here to get in here first.
Why in the world would Rusty keep a barrel of toxic acid?
Why would he keep a barrel of toxic acid? No! That's great.
Oh, lordy. Well, this is where Rusty ended up. What a way to go. I'm willing to bet he didn't crawl in here on his own. Someone murdered him.
This is quite the crime scene we're in right now. Can private investigators get in trouble for messing up a crime scene? Because that's what Tex Murphy's doing right now.
A balloon strategically located near the water faucet. Looks like Rusty didn't go down without a fight.
I love the jokes in the game. Oh, the implication being that Rusty was going to use a water balloon against his attacker. I love it. Still kind of struggling with how sensitive this up-down thing is looking. What's that?
A plastic suction dart can be formidable ammo in the hands of an expert like myself.
Ah. Some things are very obvious to which you should combine them with. There we go. Now we have a loaded suction dart crossbow. Let's examine that. What I wouldn't give for one of those. Alright. Oh, I also... that looking up and down is driving me crazy. I also happen to know that this balloon can be filled with helium right now. Alright, so some interesting developments. We got the suspect for the pawn shop robbery, who also is probably the main suspect of whoever killed Rusty the Clown. So this case is a little bigger than we think, I reckon. But that's also a good time to take a break. So we totally looted this place, I believe, for everything that was worthwhile here. And
A mask of the king? That's blasphemy.
is that a mask too?
These weapons are all...
No, it's just some weird mask thing, but... Alright, let's take a break here. When we get back, we're going to find out where this Mick Flem's hiding out at, and hopefully we can take him down. So I'll see you guys in a bit.